कोई जरूरी नहीं है, बल्कि बढ़िया होना जरूरी है। और यहाँ का कल्चर, यहाँ की संस्कृति, यहाँ का धर्म यही बढ़िया है। और ये आप लोग, you have this gift of living in, of learning this dharma. And this dharma is the best tool that you need for your life. Koi bhi question, koi bhi khatnyai, whatever your struggles, dharma is the answer. We are taught, dharmo rakshati rikshatha. If I protect dharma, matlab I live according to dharma, with ethics, with values, with sanskaras, dharma will protect me. Iska matlab aap sabhi log, mere bhai behn, students, aap log khade ho jao. Desh ke liye, Vishwa ke liye. The country needs you. The world needs you. Don't worry. Don't be afraid. Don't worry ki samne wale kya sochega. You need courage. Courage gives us that ability to be creative in the world, to stand up. And that courage kahan se aate hai? Apni connection. Connected to our roots, to our heritage, to our dharma, to our spirituality. And this is why you are here at this beautiful university, giving you the spiritual touch. Math and science kahin bhi mil sakte. But sanskar, that culture, you get it only here. Samay ki maryada ki wajah se, I will just share one last thing. I will end with this. It's one of my favorite stories. There's 3 men, and they're in a boat in the ocean. One of the men is a mathematician. Another man is a scientist. The third man is a philosopher. तो पहले mathematician पूछते हैं अपने नाव वाला से, the boatman को. He says, ये बताओ भाई साहब, आपको थोड़ा सा math तो आता ही होगा. You must be knowing some mathematics. So the boatman was a very simple man, भगवान का आदमी. तो उन्होंने कहा कि I am not educated in that way. I only know how to take God's name in the morning when I wake up and at night before I go to sleep. The mathematician कहते हैं, तो फिर कम से कम 30% आपका जीवन बर्बाद में चला गया. At least 30% of your life is gone in vain if you don't know mathematics. Third, scientists कहते हैं, ठीक है, maybe you don't know standard maths, लेकिन science तो you must be knowing. Newton's laws of physics, कुछ ना कुछ आते होगा आपको. So the boatman says, I am not educated in that way. मुझे इतना आता है to give more than I take, to see the divine in all. Scientist says at least 40% of your life has gone in vain. Lastly, philosopher says, वो तो ठीक है, math, science नहीं आता, but you must know philosophy. Plato, Aristotle, Nietzsche. You must be knowing some of that. So the boatman closes his eyes. He enters this meditative trance. When he opens his eyes, he says, no, I am not educated in that way. So the philosopher says, Farid, kam se kam 50% of your life has gone in vain. Usi samay, a storm comes, tufan aaye. And the boatman knows these waves are going to capsize our boat. तो boatman अपने passenger से पूछता है, ये बताओ, तैरना आते आप लोगों को? So they say, no, we don't know how to swim. So the wave comes and it carries the boat high into the sky. And then it drops it face down in the ocean. And the boatman watches as his passengers drown. And he says, I think sadly, 100% of your lives have gone in vain. और मैं ये story last में इसलिए conclude करती हूँ because you are learning beautiful math, beautiful science, beautiful philosophy. और सीखना चाहिए. लेकिन उसके साथ साथ you are learning how to swim in the ocean of life. Because no matter how much money you have, how much success you have, waves will come. And when the waves of life come, only your spiritual grounding will keep you anchored. So get grounded, get anchored, or फिर खड़े हो जाओ. देश के लिए, विश्व के लिए. You are the answers. And through your spiritual connection, through that connection to the divine, your courage and your creativity will solve the problems, bring the answers that our world today needs. So thank you. Thank you so much for this beautiful opportunity to be with you all today.
Thank you so much, ma'am. जैसे दृष्टि वैसी सृष्टि, बड़ा होना नहीं बढ़िया होना चाहिए. These are the two major takeaways that we have got from you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and privilege to welcome the next distinguished speaker for this session, Dr. Vijay Das, a renowned space scientist, a versatile personality, as well as an erudite scholar. He is an ardent follower and believer of the role of science and spirituality, which is constantly engaged in promoting the noble cause of human welfare. And sir, it is indeed an honor to have you amongst us. Very humbly, I would like to request the distinguished speakers to kindly keep the time, as we have limited time and paucity of time. So you'll be allotted 10 minutes, sir. And now may I kindly request you to address the gathering. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable, my dearest friends, scientists, and my brother, Dr. Vishwashanti Karad, my bosom friend, Dr. Bhatkarji, and honorable speakers here, and my friends. Today is our topic, energy. We have been working on this field for a long time. But today, I have decided to give the effect of this energy in 3 ways. One, for your entertainment and for devotion, I'll sing some bhajans. And Omkar, I'll tell you how important it is, and the application was done in DNYANESHWARA-ji Maharaj, and in Maharashtra, it has been used. Antakale cha mameva smaranmuktva kalebaram. If you can recite Omkar during the last phase of your life, you will never get birth again. And this sound, E is equal to mc square, has got great importance in scientific field. Mass is converted into energy, energy is converted into mass. C is the velocity of light, which we call as photon. In Geneva, we try to find out what it is. It is particle and also wave energy. So we got God particle. I am not going into the details of those things because we tried to utilize this energy, E, which we are getting from sun. Can we make an artificial sun? So we made from the E is equal to mc square, the fission, which you know atomic bomb was created, World War could stop because of bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki. What a disaster. But the same one could develop tokamak, that is called plasma energy, which is called sun's energy, which is called fusion energy. So energy independence is the objective of our country, objective of our whole world. Today, we see another great importance of E in science, religion, and philosophy. My friend I met 13 years back, and my wife said, "Did you recognize him?" I said, "He's a professor." The person is resonating with one thing, Vishwashanti, the peace in the world. He doesn't know any other thing. And he's trying that can it be inculcated, instilled in the people from the childhood, so that we become real human. Then comes the value-based education. He devoted his life for education, and not general education which we get, but the value-based education, human-oriented education, human-centric education. That will make our world peaceful. I'll tell you something from Bhagavad Gita. This energy is so important. In Ramayana, Sri Ram is telling, Bhaya vina, without fear, hoye na kabhi preet. Today, something is happening like this. We are facing great crisis today because of the war in Ukraine. But do you know what happens is, we are trying what they have tried in Mahabharata area, that let us give a fear, that don't do this. The consequences will be very bad. So Santi Dut Bhagwan Sri Krishna came and told, don't raise a war. It is a destruction, it is violence, it is bloodshed. But if you do, consequences will be bad. So that is what is happening today. And in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhu also demonstrated about the sound. Om, what you say, effect of sound. Do you know? Sound is very powerful weapon. It can give you salvation. It can give you pleasure, which I'll sing a song and you will know. It will also give you the fear. So if you have read Bhagavad Gita in the first chapter, Bhagwan is telling, Bhagwan mentions that, Panchajanyam Hrushikeshu, Devadattam Dhananjaya, Paundram Dadmau Mahashankha, Bhima Karma Vrkodaraha, Ananta Vijayang Raja, Kuntiputra Yudhishthiraha, Nakula Sadevasya, Shughosha Mani Pushpakau. Bhishma created the sound of the band party, of the military band party. So it created noise, like a lot of these sound which noise pollution is occurring. But when Lord played the sankh, the conch, that was Panchajanya, Devadatta, Sughosha, Mani Pushpakau, what happened? There's a fear complex. Dhastra Rashtran, Hridayani, Vyadarayat. So Dhastra, that is Dhritarashtra, Kaurav Shanyaka. Hriday sab heart attack, heart palpitation ho gaya. Same thing Arjun did. He could defeat the whole Hastinapur, whole Kaurav Shanya during the Virat by using the sound wave, by using the wave nature called anesthetic weapon, सम्मोहन अस्त्र, सबको सुला दिए, मारने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. So this is a fear complex. So here is fear, here is end goal, sound which will give you salvation. Antakale cha mamev smaran muktva kalevaram na prayanti. कभी बाद में आप आएंगे नहीं, आपके मुक्ति मोक्ष हो गया, उतना याद रखिए. तो जब प्रैक्टिस करेंगे जिंदगी भर, अंतकाले च मामेव, हमेशा जब आप इसको प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, आखिर समय में वो याद आ जाएगा और आप प्रभु के चरण में चले जाएंगे. मैं बोलता रहूँ एनर्जी के ऊपर, बिकॉज एनर्जी में काम करता हूँ. मैं यहीं बंद करके आपको सिर्फ एक वही जो साउंड वेव है वो कैसे आपको मग्न और मुग्ध कर देगा भजन और कीर्तन में। मैं एक भजन गा के आपको सुनाता हूँ। हे भगवन, हे प्रभु, ना मुसलमान, ना क्रिश्चियन, ना हिंदू, ना बुद्ध, तुम तो भगवान हो। उसी को मैं आज बुला रहा हूँ विश्व शांति के लिए, हमारे कल्याण के लिए, विश्व कल्याण के लिए। तुम आ जाना रे भगवन, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन, मैं द्वार खोल कर बैठा हूँ, मैं द्वार खोल कर बैठा हूँ, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन। तेरे बिना मन मंदिर मेरा, तेरे बिना मन मंदिर मेरा हो पड़ा सुनसान, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन। रीत पूजा की याद नहीं रे, रीत पूजा की याद नहीं रे, क्या चढ़ाऊं प्रसाद नहीं रे, क्या चढ़ाऊं प्रभु प्रसाद नहीं रे, तुम हो दाता मैं हूँ भिखारी, क्या दूं रे बलिदान, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन। धन की मुझे तो प्यास नहीं रे, धन की मुझे तो प्यास नहीं रे, दर्शन की बस आस यही रे, दर्शन की बस आस यही रे, तनिक भगत से भगत नाथ की हो जाए पहचान, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन। मैं द्वार खोल कर बैठा हूँ, मैं द्वार खोल कर बैठा हूँ, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन। तेरे बिना मन मंदिर मेरा, तेरे बिना मन मंदिर मेरा हो पड़ा सुनसान, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन, भगवन भगवन भगवन, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन, तुम आ जाना रे भगवन। धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत खुशी।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। This is truly a manifestation and an embodiment of science, culture, spirituality, religion and philosophy. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to welcome the next distinguished speaker, Honorable Dr. K. Parameswaran, Professor of Law, Gujarat National Law University, Gandhinagar. He pioneered a law subject titled Law, Religion, Spirituality and Justice, and also a method of ethics skills development. He's proficient in cognitive behavioral psychotherapy, clinical hypnotherapy, and also a master trainer of neuro-linguistic program NLP. He extensively lectures in India and abroad and trains students, advocates, judicial officers, PhD scholars through immersive workshops and FDPs. It is truly an honor to have you amongst us, sir, today. May I now kindly request you to address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Namaste to each and everyone present here. It is a great honor for me to be a part of this World Parliament 8th edition to bring the integration of science, philosophy, religion, spirituality, world, life, yoga, and many things. We have heard since morning the recitation of Om. What is the significance of Om? And the topic that is there in this session, which is Om, E is equal to MC square. When we recite Om, we not only recite Om from within, but it also goes out. Where does it go? It goes from the individual heart center, passing through the mind, above the head, and it goes to the universe and the cosmos and reaches the transcendent, the supreme reality, and it doesn't stop there. It comes back again into us. That's why we recite Om very long. When we recite Om from the heart center, reaching above the head, passing through the universe, the cosmos, the transcendence, the supreme reality, the experience of it, and then coming back again into the self and into the body, the Om gets completed. We say, Om. The ascent of Om reaches, when it is awakened from the heart center, it goes beyond, 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 and touches the ultimate reality and comes back again. One wonders, what is the connection of this recitation of Om and the science? And the formula that is being spoken about is that the individual Om reaches the universal Om, reaches the transcendent Om, and comes back from there again, from the transcendent to the universal and to the individual. Now I put a question to all of you here. It is in this context when we recite Om, at all the three levels of the consciousness, there is no distinction between science and spirituality. There is no distinction between religion and philosophy. There is no distinction between the self and the world, the life and the society, and so on. It is here we merge everything. In the ancient texts, Vedas, Upanishads, Tantra and Gita, they say that which is known, everything is known. That which is known, all is known. They never had the distinction between science and spirituality, religion and philosophy, world and life and yoga. It was one single continuous integrated movement. It was one single continuous integrated experience. It is this integration in terms of experience which our revered professor here on the dais, Dr. Shri Vishwanath Karajji, wants to make to everyone experience. Very often he emphasizes there is no distinction between science and spirituality, religion and yoga and philosophy, world and life and education and values and peace and so on. Because there is a continuous experience of one single body One single undivided consciousness, timeless, boundless, spaceless, yet within life. It is one as well as many. It is unifying, yet it is giving the freedom and multiplicity and the plasticity to move. It is this experience. When we say that which is known, everything is known, when we reach that source of the divine consciousness by the power of Om, the ascent and the descent that is taking place, a question comes to us. How do we know that we know? When do we know? In order to know that source by which everything is known, it is experience. It is by experience. It is the experiencing which makes us connect with makes the connection and the contact with the source that brings the undivided experience, that brings the integrated, holistic, one grounding experience with oneness as well as multiplicity, which is exactly what the scientists on the other side are exploring and the spiritualists on this side exploring. We must keep this in mind. So that which is known, all is known. How do we know? It is by experiencing we know. Here comes the most interesting part. How do we experience, or what is the method of experience? There are two types of experience. There are two methods of experience. When we experience that from outside in, it is science. When we experience from inside out, it is self and spirituality. Where do we bridge it? How do we bridge it? Peace is the connecting element. Peace is the tool. Peace is the catalyst. Peace is not a static thing. Peace is a very dynamic thing. Peace is one single experience which holds the divine consciousness, the undivided consciousness, which holds the divine knowledge, the divine light, the divine power, the divine ananda, everything. That's why they said, great rishis said, that which is known, everything is known. And how do we know? It is by experiencing. And how do we experience? The scientists, they call it, it is from outside in, using the indriyas, the sensory network they experience. As much they experience, they agree that it is part and parcel of the evolution and universe, time and space. But they don't see the origin of the experience, which is divine. Whereas the spiritualists experience everything from the origin point of view. They go to the self and the soul and they experience from there. They also need to bring that experience into the life itself. It is here, I am very happy to say that MIT WPU, this wonderful university, is experimenting with various things in order to give this kind of an experience, which in my experience, no university has ever ventured to do. I have been in the field of education for the last 20 years and I have seen many places people talk about liberal education, liberal studies and so on. All that they do is the liberal studies is only between the same intellectual domain. An engineering student can study photography, or an art student can study football or this, or he can learn cuisine, or he can learn management and so on. That is not liberal studies. It is only one angle of it. Nothing wrong in that. But the true liberal studies is to bring the two domains of experience, one from within and another from outside. Here I am able to see that such an experiment is being carried forward. Science and spirituality, yoga and philosophy, religion and world and society and peace is being experimented here. I am very happy to say that this is one of the universities, sir, in my opinion, which has pioneered this kind of true liberal studies, true interdisciplinary studies, true cross-fertilization of knowledge experience. And how do we take it? It is our duty as academicians here, as students, as researchers. We need to do the experiment with experience, and we need to carry the experience while experimenting things. It is this which brings us, and it is this peace which is going to bring the greatest victory for all of us. This is the first time I am visiting the World Peace Dome, though I had visited many times the WPU University, MIT at Kothrood. I had felt many times that Professor Vishwanath Karatji is a leader of education in the country. But I would like to say, sir, you are a king of education. Because only a king can give and give and give and make everything can happen. Otherwise, do you think this much can happen? Do you think in the academic podium where science and spirituality, religion and yoga, philosophy, everything is being experimented? This was the original conception of the ancient rishis, to allow all kinds of experiments in order to experience and then bring back the experience and put it in the experiment so that the world gets harmonized, the world gets complete, one. It is in this state of feeling of utmost gratitude to this wonderful university. I thank for having the opportunity given to me by Professor Shri Vishwanath Kararji and all the other people. And today morning I had a brief talk with Shri Rahulji also, and he explained so many things of pioneering initiatives, and I don't know whether anybody is doing in that way. I'm yet to see it. I would like to give all my help that I can give from the point of view of spirituality and various academic research and experience. It is my open commitment, sir, that I can give. And to each and everyone who is present here, I thank you so much for having given me this opportunity. And we are on a very, very important juncture of the world evolution in which we are moving towards something which we can call it as the new foundation of life, the new future of life. Thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
May I kindly request our audiences to give a standing ovation for this awe-inspiring speech. Thank you so much, sir. And let us have a standing ovation for this speech and words of inspiration as well as motivation. We would like to sincerely express gratitude to you, sir, for acknowledging our university for its experimental and experiential learning. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great fortune as well as privilege to introduce our next very distinguished speaker, Dr. Vijay Bhatkarji, Padma Bhushan, Chancellor of Nalanda University, father of Param Supercomputer and Chairman, National Steering Committee for Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, former Chairman, Board of Governors, IIT Delhi. Dr. Vijay Bhatkar is one of the most acclaimed scientists and IT leaders of India. He is best known as the architect of India's first supercomputer and as the founder, executive director of SIDAC, India's national initiative in supercomputing. He is credited with the creation of several national institutions, notably amongst them being SIDAC, ER&DC, IIIT-MK, I2IT, ETH Research Lab, MKCL, and India International Multi-University. He has been a member of Scientific Advisory Committee to the Cabinet of Government of India, Governing Council member of CSIR India, and E-Governance Committee Chairman of Governments of Maharashtra and Goa. It is our great honor and privilege to have you amongst us today. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give a huge round of applause to this distinguished personality? May I now kindly request you to address the gathering? Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. I think the theme of this very profound, won't call it seminar or conference. As I said in the morning, it is in this parliament we are trying to exercise our conscious choice to set a direction for each one of us, not only for humans, but for all life and life beyond. for this parliament. Therefore, it's the parliament of the world. Professor Vishwanath Karad named it right from beginning as a world parliament. That was a very bold title to be given to such an articulation. And true to his name, right from this morning and again, next 3 days, we'll be dwelling on this very important issue. As we face the challenge of this pandemic and emerging war, as we see between two great nations, where the question has arisen whether the humanity itself will last or not. Here, in this unique place, we are discussing the future of the humanity, whether we will exist or not. So this is a very important question. In this theme, in this session, we are discussing a very important equation that governs this Brahmanda, this universe. Several years back, we had set on a journey. There was a conference taking place in Europe, and which was title is a Om is equal to MC square. It was very curious for all of us. Now, what is this? Om is equal to MC square. Science and spirituality equation. We wanted to see, having been interested in world peace, and that really inspired all of us, particularly Professor Vishwanath Karad. We all decided, including Deepak Ranade, brain scientist, brain surgeon, who spoke this morning, and we decided to set on a journey in Europe to attend this conference. It is this conference that, in a way, inspired us that we have to bring these things together. We have been speaking about it, about science and spirituality. We are curious, what are the world scientists speaking on this very issue? And we attended this conference. Now, in this conference, in this very session, we are once again taking up the issue for discussion, for reflecting. What does this profound enunciation mean? Om, directing towards energy, and its equation with mass, energy and mass equivalence, the most famous equation enunciated by none other than Albert Einstein, the greatest scientist we have created. God has sent to us to show the nature of reality. This is a wonderful, I think, experience for our students and teachers, I feel. When we speak of science, religion, and philosophy, these three dimensions, in fact, enunciate the nature of our existence. The very purpose for which we have come together, this equation. In this session itself, we had wonderful experiences. All the speakers spoke all along since morning. We are getting some different glimpses of one's what we call as the nature of reality from different articulations. Here, the very theme of the conference, in which we are trying to denote Om, a single syllable can express the nature of reality. And that's what Mandukya Upanishad speaks about. If you have to describe the nature of reality, and that is the very purpose of science, you have to describe that in a single syllable, in a single utterance. Our rishis have uttered that, which cannot be defined in any other way. That syllable is Om, as was expressed to our previous speaker. No expression of that kind has been able to express that. Vedas describe that as Om. And then we went on to another theme, another aspect of it is what is this physical nature of this reality, which was described in terms of the equivalence of mass and energy. And their equivalence by Einstein. And their relation by speed of light, c square. And this equation describes the nature of a physical reality. So this theme describes all the three things together, ties into equation. As you know, the entire science, there are several equations. Science is nothing but enunciation of several equations. Many ways, the laws of physics, laws of motion, mass, energy equivalence, and several equations come before. The study of this is called science. Study of this equivalence is called science. But that alone does not describe the nature of life. Beyond that, there are other experiences, as Parmeshwaranji said, there are other experiences of which life, there are several other. Music is one experience. There are many things. Yoga is, and different types of yogas are different experiences which we express. And these are all, understanding of this alone, we can understand the nature of reality. And that's why this conference, the conference is to give a complete expression of what is the nature of, like the fundamental question Sadhviji also said, why am I here? The reality that I'm seeing, what is its nature? I want to understand that kind of things. Why do I feel pain? Why do I feel joy? These are the fundamental questions which we don't teach in our current universities and we'll teach tomorrow. I'm very happy. I think, Rahul, I'm very happy that we have raised these questions. In one university where we are taking these questions for examination, for understanding, for experimentation, and for experience, as we said. For experience, not just experience. So I'm happy that our universities, as we said, must understand this. What is the nature of this universe itself? And how to describe that. Sir, I am very happy. In your name, a university has been created. And it was a great idea that Rahul, you have named it after your great father. Sir, nothing to be accomplished. Once you understand the answers to this question, everything is understood. And that is the thing we are trying to really raise in this university. Our government, we have said that kind of thing. We want to have liberal education. Parmeshwaranji has described, it's not, it's beyond liberal. It's a transcendental experience this university will try. While it is easy to say, it is difficult, it's extremely difficult to transcend the nature of this reality. And my my dear students and teachers, it is this we want to. We want to understand the universities are for the universalization of our mind by understanding all these three realities as a unified reality. So I'm very proud that such a university has been created. I'm very proud that several people who have experienced this, who have studied this, who have experimented this, are converging together to discuss, to experiment, to experience, to transcend. I'm very proud that this university, like Takshashila was the first university that we created. Nalanda was one of the great universities. We are on the journey to create such great universities of future. When you say that, last word, when you say that India must be the world guru, when will it be world guru? When it will create universities such as Takshashila. Once we created the earliest university of the world, university like Nalanda and beyond, we are on that path, nothing less than that. So I think very proud that we are attempting that, not that we have created, attempting that. All these experiences together. Once again, this great theme, Om is equal to E is equal to MC square. When we understand, when we enunciate, understand, and prove through not just writing an equation, but through experience, then I think we would have created truly a world universities of the future. And I hope that this dome, such ideas will be nurtured, will flower, will be experienced, and truly the, I think, knowledgeable society which will not create such blunders of creating, once again, a set of wars to destroy this one, but to reconstruct the world in its fullest glory, fullest joy. And that will be the purpose of our education. Thank you very much, sir. I'm very, very happy.
Thank you
to
so
listen to all
much.
of
Can
us,
we
to
have
all
a
the
standing
speakers.
ovation for our very distinguished speaker, Honorable Dr. Vijay Bhatkar ji. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a standing ovation and a huge round of applause. Sir, we have indeed experienced the exuberance and the exquisiteness of your enlightening speech. Thank you so much, sir. And may I now kindly request Dr. Ramchandra Pujari ji, Dean of Students Affairs, Strategic Planning at MIT ADT University, Pune, Bharat, to kindly propose the vote of thanks for this session. Over to you, sir.
त्रैलोक्य संपदालिकाय सम्मूलेखन वित्तये सच्चिदानंद रूपाय शिवाय प्रभणे. What a wonderful day it is. The way the World Parliament started with I can say the theme and tag, that is science and religion and philosophy. Like our National Education Policy 2020 started with a tag, engage, educate and enlighten. Before my vote of thanks, while I was listening to the speaker, I just remember on Bhagavad Gita, Sanskrit Shlok, Sri Krishna says, Nainam chindati sastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na kainam kaidayanti apo the society marotaha, meaning that it relate with E equal to mc square and O equal to mc square. The soul can never be cut into pieces by only weapon, nor molested by the water, nor withered by the wind. It just leaves the old body and finds the new body. It says E equal to mc square as per the Einstein, the increased relativity mass of the body times the speed of the light, and speed of the light squared is equal to the kinetic energy of that body. But at the same time, O equal to mc square says, in essence, this equation is therefore simply saying everything is energy. Energy is the fundamental reality of the world we live it. There is no such thing as solid matter. It is a complete illusion. Is thing there is. So, respected dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, we had a theme E equal to mc square and Om equal to mc square. What a wonderful speaker we had today. We started with Her Holiness Sri Pujya Sadhvi Bhagavati Saraswati. She is here, as she said, 25 years ago she entered into this country and says, what a wonderful nation, power of the nation she has expressed such a way. I thank you so much, and on the behalf of this managing World Parliament, 8th World Parliament on the religion and science and religion and philosophy, thank you so much, madam, for your words of wisdom. We had our own renowned scientist. We had many times sir's speech and wonderful song as well. That is Dr. Vijay Das sir, who is renowned scientist from space from America. Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful song. Everybody were enjoying the song. Every time you make everybody enjoy the song. We also had a wonderful speaker and renowned scholar and the professor, who is none other than Dr. K. Parameswaran sir from Gujarat National University of Law. What a wonderful expression from him for the Om. Sir, we delighted to have you as a wonderful speaker on this particular occasion. Thank you so much for spending your wonderful time. We also had our own Padma Vibhushan and renowned supercomputer innovator and the scientist. I also called sir as my father. Sir, all the time we always hear your words of wisdom. You make everybody to understand what exactly the fundamental basis for every kind of given topic. You are the real leader, because the essence today, education is the mother for the leadership, and you are always proving that. As NEP says, earlier it was education for all. Today the NEP says quality education for all. You are the right person for that to explain, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for spending your wonderful time. Our own beloved father, by looking him, I always get an energy, but also I scared to talk to sir because such a wonderful human being. He's a dynamic, a philosopher, a thinker. You can see, sir is sitting from the morning. You can see at sir, you might have gone at least 10 times out, but see, sir, how sir is. So what a wonderful thought by sir. Sir, I am attending this with your blessings, at least 5 to 6, this World Parliament. The kind of energy and kind of arrangement by the speakers, sir, you have tremendous. And God has blessed you that. And on behalf of all the audience and the management and the organizer of this great conference, sir, I once again thank you and I owe to you. I request, I think it is right. I request all the audience kindly give a standing ovation to our wonderful, honorable founder father, Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. I also thank our own Professor R.M. Chettis, the Vice Chancellor of World Peace University. I end with a one small story. When Einstein found only 1 minute, sir, only 1 minute. I end with that. When Einstein found E equal to mc square, he has been asked by many developed countries, how this E equal to mc square can you just present in front of all the scientists, renowned scientists. So he went on presenting. Many countries, scientists were present. On some other day, scientists, Einstein fallen in, where he supposed to present in front of some Indian scientists, Japanese scientists, like some developed scientists, developed nation scientists. So he was not that well. His driver asked, sir, every day you are presenting, and I understood very well. Why can't you give a chance to me today? I'll present about E equal to mc square. By seeing him, Einstein sir, astonished to see him, how can you do that? No sir, you give me a chance, I'll do that. He went on the stage, he started presenting about whatever the findings, how it tally with E equal to mc square. After the presentation, there was a question and answers for that. There were some few questions from Indian scientists, very tough question. He went on answering, but some question he was unable to answer. He just told, sir, what a kind of so liberal and silly questions you are asking. Instead, I answer to these questions. Can you talk to my car driver? Who was sitting inside the car? The great, the notable, noble scientist, that is Einstein. I mean to say here, it is our duty to get from this particular wonderful conference what kind of fruits we have to carry. That's what I mean to say here. Thank you so much. Thank you once again, one and all.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, before we formally conclude this session, I have two very important announcements to make. Tomorrow, the second day, that is 4th of April 2022, we begin day 2 at 9 a.m. sharp, where the session will be starting with the puja of religious scriptures, multi-religious procession, after which we'll have addresses by Shri Rahul V. Karad, Dr. Mangesh T. Karad, Dr. Vijay P. Bhatkar, as well as Revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad. We'll also have the inauguration of the 8th World Parliament of Science, Religion and Philosophy, the Vishwarpan ceremony of world's biggest dome, the public dedication ceremony of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as well as the flagging of the mission to distribute 1.25 lakh volumes of Srimad Bhagavad Gita to students. Friends, there's going to be an unveiling of the book, after which we'll have the address by the chief guest, His Excellency Shri Bhagat Singh Koshyari Ji, Honorable Governor of Maharashtra. So I kindly request you to be seated in this dome by 8:30 a.m. sharp. Another important announcement is, right after this session, we have a miraculous spectacle waiting for you outside. Well, it is the light and sound show where the magic of sound will blend with light and vice versa. So please do not leave without having witnessed this light and sound show. Now, I kindly request all the participants as well as the delegates to wholeheartedly participate in the universal anthem Pasayadan. Kindly rise, join your hands, close your eyes, and I request my technical team to please relay Pasayadan, which is the universal anthem.
आता विश्वात्मके देवे येने वाग्यज्ञे तोषावे तोषोनिम विश्वस्वधर्म सूर्ये पाहो जो देवांशील तो तेलाहो प्राणी जात वर्षत सकळ मंगळी ईश्वर निष्ठांची मांदियाळी अनवरत भूमंडळी भेट तू भूता चला कल्पतरूंचे आरव चेतना चिंतामणीचे गाव बोलते जे अर्णव पियुषाचे चंद्रमे जे अनांतन मार्तंड देता पहिन ते सर्वाही सदा सज्जन सोय रे हो तू किंबहुना सर्व सुखी पूर्ण होनिसिही लोकी भजिजो आदि पुरुषी अखंडित आणि ग्रंथोपजीविये विशेषी लोकीये दृष्टादृष्ट विजये हो आवेगी येथ म्हणे श्री विश्वेश्वराव हा होईल दान पसावो येणे वरे ज्ञान देवो सुखिया
Thank you so much, dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, as well as all the participants, for your wholehearted participation in the day 1st of 8th World Parliament of Science, Religion and Philosophy. See you tomorrow for day 2 with sessions full of deliberations and speeches that are enlightening with words of wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please gather outside the dome for the light and sound show? Please do not miss this, as it's going to be a very interesting spectacle. Thank you so much once again. Good night, take care, see you.